Thank you, Chairpersons. Ladies and gentlemen, again I thank Dr. Eves, the President of the Foundation, for giving us this opportunity. I am on behalf of Mr. Mehta, who could not obtain visa on time as he missed out. He was traveling to USA and then just returned and couldn't obtain visa, so he requested me to share the experience of this prosthesis with all of you. As all of you know that the problem of losing a limb is huge globally, and it is expected that by year 2050 the number of amputees globally would almost double, and people with prosthesis will be increasing every year, and it costs, according to estimates in USA, it costs to $12 billion each year, this problem. So I think it's very apt and timely that we look into how we can make this prosthesis at affordable price to majority population in at least globally and more so in developing emerging world. So I am here on behalf of Mr. Mehta. Just to give you a brief background, that it dates back to 1968 when the original prototype was developed in medical college in Jaipur, Rajasthan, India, by a master craftsman who was not very literate, and he worked with these three orthopedic surgeons and Dr. Sethi and two others. That's how it was developed in the beginning, the foot only. And this was the master craftsman who was the inventor of the Jaipur Foot. But then, as you know, it happens with most inventions that if you don't get a proper investor on time, the invention actually is not picked up. So I think the credit goes to Mr. Mehta, who was a civil servant in Government of India, who realized the importance of this prosthesis, and then he established this Bhagwan Mahavir Viklang Sahayata Samiti, BMVSS, in 1975, and he actually generated some donations, funds, to produce this prosthesis on large scale. With the principal objectives that it is purely humanitarian, non-sectarian, non-political, and it can go beyond the borders of India, and it was a non-governmental entity. The principal objectives of this NGO was to provide rehabilitation to those who cannot afford expensive rehabilitation available in the rehabilitation centers, and also mobility with dignity. I think that was the motto. So till now, this has been termed as the world's largest organization for providing prosthesis to amputees, and they have almost 1.7 million beneficiaries and 0.6 million amputees rehabilitated through this process. Most widely used limb globally, and also they have conducted 66 camps in 29 countries of Asia, Africa, and Latin America, and it is provided free of cost to those who need it. I came to know about it because my mother-in-law would donate some small amount to this, so she would ask me to prepare a check. So, and then there was some television coverages also about this availability of this prosthesis. So this is a foot prosthesis. Then it was knee joint was added to it subsequently. Socket and shank was added, and it is unique and innovative, as you would see. And it is amongst the very few non-articulated foot in the world which provides mobility all type 3 planes, the flexion, inversion, dorsiflexion, and also rotation. It's a universal foot, what they call it, and it is not activity specific and permits several activities. The average life, what they tell me, is about 3.5 years. It may last for 5 years, 6 years, but the average life, what they have calculated, is about 3.5 years. And it distinguishes itself from other sophisticated and expensive prostheses available, like the Jaipur Foot or SAC. And its performance was compared with the sophisticated prostheses, and also this comparison was published in the article in the journal Prosthetics and Orthotics in 1995, where they concluded while that the single-axis knee joint was also developed with Stanford University, and this is something what they call it the 4-bar polycentric knee joint in 2009. The Time magazine in 2009 published a report on this prosthesis, and they said this is one of the 50 best inventions globally, and by that time they had fitted 13,000 such joints with excellent feedback. This was the publication in Time magazine where they emphasized the low cost and also that it works. Basically, it is, I'll go in the reverse order because it's getting forwarded. So, what they are emphasizing that this is a famous dancer in India, and she is a brand ambassador for this prosthesis, and she performs, she acts in TV serials and movies, and then they can ride a motorbike, then they can participate with this prosthesis in marathons, and also skating can be done putting on these prostheses. This is bilateral amputee with bilateral prosthesis in both the legs. They can climb the tree, they can run very fast. So this is what makes it very functionally very viable, that you can walk, sit, squat, run, swim, climb the tree, ride a bike, and drive the car. And most of these functions can also be done with the above knee artificial limb as well. And the quality, as I told you, made of good quality material, lightweight, flexible, durable with high impact resistance, high tensile strength, easy to make, and can be fitted in 1 to 3 days. And it can be used without shoes as well. So the cost, when it comes to cost, since it is a non-profit organization, then the cost has been kept very low because there is no cost on advertising. So it is a word of mouth, or some like national TV channels show programs on this entity where the people come to know, and then we all refer the patients from the hospitals to this to get the prosthesis. Then Stanford University is working with this NGO for development of now hand prosthesis. Then they are also working with MIT to develop a wheelchair come hand pedal tricycle for rural patients, development of an artificial knee joint for with system of brake, development of a new foot piece with energy requirement taking into account. In short, the Bhagwan Mahavir Viklang Seva Sansthan is engaged in research with support of world's topmost institutions, and also it is what they call service with science. And this is Afghanistan, where they have fitted some prostheses, in Iraq. And these are the countries where they have gone and conducted camps to provide prostheses at a low cost. Thank you all very much for your attention.